Assalamu alaikum guys, what's up? This is Saad, aka We All Blessed! First of all, before I tell you the video guys, we have amazing guests with us, brother Sunny, mashallah. You know, brother Sunny's here. We got Nawfil, we got brother Zayn, making a comeback. We got Mr. Muhammad Bakat after a long time, and we have obviously the fella. And brother Sunny, tell the guys what we're going to be talking about today.
Well, thank you for having me, Saad. So today we want to discuss about a recent issue that has been taking place in society. So the easy accessibility of drugs and alcohol to the public.
Yeah.
And now what are the potential effects that this can cause in our society moving forward? The potential effects it can cause to children, to minors of all sorts. And that is what we're going to be looking at today.
Inshallah. Yeah, 100%. And brother Zayn, you got anything to talk about? Anything to feed on?
We'll talk about the source of this idea of the topic that he introduced, which is that how we came up with the discussion. And what happened was Saad was driving through, and Saad, do you want to continue what happened?
So basically, me and the brother were driving through and we seen a billboard.
Oh, he was with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Explain to the fellas what we seen, man.
Yeah,
What
so
did you see,
we were just driving, down Credit View, and then we seen this big billboard, it said Walmart, beer is now available. So, it was crazy because we never used to see this at Walmart, right? We
These big stories, big news,
Yeah, we never used to see it.
I mean, yeah.
It's something crazy, right?
So obviously we're not gonna be out all around talking about Walmart, but we're gonna, revolve around the issue that we just seen, because this is obviously something that we need to be aware about. And Shadun, anything else, man, you wanna add on, brother?
And nothing much, let's just continue on.
Okay, all right.
Nawfil, bring it to me.
Let me start off by saying that.
Nawfil was very excited.
Alright, guys. Let me continue.
Sorry, all is exciting.
So beer coming into Walmart and retail stores like this. Since Walmart has started this, eventually it's gonna lead other retail stores to follow. And what does that mean for us as a society? Like our children, do we want them to see this in their retail stores and this accessibility that they have? Kids nowadays can find different loopholes to get all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it can cause more damage than good,
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about that? Like just that main accessibility of having this and your kids just going around and picking them up, finding loopholes,
Yeah, brother Sunny, you got anything to
Well, this can be devastating
Yeah.
for children, for the minors moving forward in their life. Now, I remember back in our times when we were growing up, right? At the age of 9, 10, 11,
Yeah,
when we were
around that
minors
time.
ourselves. We did not see this taking place. There was no beer introduced. There was no alcohol sold in a retail store like Walmart. And as you were saying, you were driving by. So that's how the thought came into our head that, hey, this is something that maybe we as a community should look into. Because now, with beer being easily accessible, now they can children, there is no restriction. There is nothing stopping them, right? We were looking at the facts earlier. There was nothing stopping them until they get to the cashier or until they are making their purchase. Anyone with a beer or alcoholic beverage in their hand will be looked at. But before that, what are all the things that can happen? So some things we were talking about, some of the effects. Children will be seeing beer. We'll be seeing these alcoholic beverages. We'll think that, hey, this is just like grocery store. This is just normal, everyday part of our life. This is okay. Hey, you know what I mean? Let me grab one, put it in the cart. Just an example. Let me grab one. Let me take. You know what I mean? This is another place now where it's more easy now. We were comparing the different sides, LCBO and beer store. We were talking about how right away when you get inside, there is a sense of awareness from the employees in the store. They look at you, they usually will watch you, or they'll even tell you if you don't look old enough, they'll ask you for your ID while you're shopping.
Rulings
right?
are strict.
So there's very strict ruling. There's a little more restrictions in that condition. But now, speaking of Walmart is one example. We're pretty sure that since this is happening at Walmart, such a big retail store where everything is bought, this is going to be happening everywhere around the world.
Right.
Every other store.
So basically, what completely agree with you, and what you mean is that it's being normalized, right? it's being shown to these kids as something which is now normal, which is available, which it's almost as if they're grabbing a book.
That's what I said.
It's like you can just go and grab it. Although they still have these restrictions where, as you mentioned, that you cannot purchase it if you're not above 19. But then again, what if a kid, as you mentioned, starts just drinking over there and that, right?
Exactly.
How does that work? And plus, the main thing isn't about how the kids get it or what they're doing, but the main thing is the accessibility and the image in their head in regard to beer, from something which they may be associated it to something evil and bad, something which adults have. Now if it's in a store where everyone frequents, anyone can access it, right? And in their mind it's like, oh, okay, it's a normal thing, everyone's doing it.
And Bhagat, I wanted to ask you, because these guys touched on that issue, I want to ask you what does this do to the crime, because we all know majority of accidents are caused to driving under influence, right? So what do you think by Walmart or retail stores like the brother mentioned, allowing this law to be passed on? What do you think is going to be for the crime rate now?
Obviously, the crime rate is going to go up, right? More kids are going to be, drinking these things, right? Because more kids, right? They go to Walmart. As opposed to, like, let's say an adult wants to get beer, right? They'll go alone to the beer store. But like usually, when adults are doing shopping at Walmart or another store, they bring their kids. So when they see this, they're obviously going to be tempted to do it. This is going to lead to these kids not focusing on education. They're going to be doing more crimes.
Definitely,
right?
definitely.
Very good point.
It's going to lead to
Definitely.
them not even being able to understand how to focus, how to think. So even the basics of, like Sunny was saying, they're gonna get influenced at a very early age. So this is gonna affect them in the long run, and in the short run, it's gonna affect the crime rate. So
one more thing, this provides a good transition into drugs, and what Shanur was mentioning. Remember about the school and what were they providing the kids with? The cookies you were mentioning.
Muffins, some sort of
tobacco. You want to talk about that? What happened?
Explain what were the school doing.
What did they do?
it was actually, so I was saying, so basically at my school,
Yeah.
right, the day they legalized the marijuana, there was like, all these companies, there was one company specifically, they came, and I don't know, it was a cookie or something.
It was muffins and brownies, stuff like that.
Something like that, and they were just giving it out on the street, right? Muslim, non-Muslim, every, religion of people, they were taking it, and I was shocked. I swear, I took a picture of it. I even have it on my phone. I can post it in the video if you want it. They were taking it into the school and the libraries. They were eating it as if it was like,
a normal thing.
Yeah, and I was even talking to my friend. I'm like, yo, did you hear about this? I'm like, no. He's like, no, I didn't hear about this. I'm like, didn't you see those packages? He's like, yeah, I saw them. I'm like, bro, these are weed. And he's like, no way, these are not weed. I'm like, yo, these are weed. I sent him a picture and he's like, oh, no way. Because people didn't expect weed is in this. They think it's just a chocolate bar or a brownie. Now they're putting it in food. Now they're giving it on the streets. Ridiculous.
Yeah,
right?
Mohammed, you said something good there. Some people would argue that, hey man, I'm just doing a weed brownie, I'm just eating that. But they don't know what it can lead to.
Exactly.
It's like a gateway. It's like a gateway.
I'm just doing my thing. That's what they say.
What does it
You know?
lead to?
It's my thing,
It
bro.
leads to more stuff like this, right? More drugs. Like now they're partying crazily. They're drinking too much, and like this is no joke, right?
And I'll say this,
Yeah.
just to tag on what he was saying, the brownie. He did have a point in meaning that this is something which was not common at all in our high school, and now we see this, in our final year. And obviously, you think to yourself, you're like, hey man, if this is a standard now, isn't it gonna keep touching the bar? So we need to have something that we draw the line at, that to know. And obviously, I'm not saying that Walmart has taken now off, but I'm saying that slowly at times it's not always the best thing to recreate or innovate. Sometimes simple the way things are going, you just keep it like that. Things are flowing because you make changes, it might cause a ripple effect. Now we all know what's going on in Toronto, with the youth, like you were talking about.
Now,
And
we were talking about the easy accessibility of drugs and alcohol, right? So, not only is it easily accessible, there will be certain effects that will be implied from this, right? The youth making bad decisions, not focusing on their school. This is corrupting their childhood at a very young age. They are feeling like the brothers were saying, this is a norm. This has become a norm. This is okay. This is normal. But these are things that parents or adults would try to restrict their children or minors from, right? I mean, till you have that sense of responsibility. But until that sense of responsibility or awareness is not even there, they're gonna be utilizing these things now in a school environment. Now you can smoke. The smoking rule has changed. You can smoke cannabis at any designated area where you can smoke a cigarette. So now people will be suffering from secondhand smoke. So what will this effect have on general public?
Okay,
as
so
well
we
as-
talked about all these problems, right? But then how are we gonna solve this? Like,
You know, solve
how
is
do we solve
it's the
this?
mental aspect. You gotta look at this as what I'm not creating anything. I'm not building. I'm not progressing in my life. What am I doing? I'm wasting my time. That's the reality of all this. I'm not building. I'm not helping people. I'm not doing anything for society, for the community. You know. And if a guy gets that in his mind, I'm telling you, any addiction in the world, you can overcome that because now what you have done, you have changed your mental state. A lot of these people, why do they turn to? We need to ask this: why do they go towards drinking? You know, smoking marijuana, as you mentioned. Why do they go to? Because why there's something is missing. They're missing a purpose. They want to, fit in and just, go with the flow. But there's no purpose. Like, hey, I wanna do this. I wanna be an engineer when I grow up. I wanna be a doctor. I wanna be an officer. You know what? I wanna work on my ball skills. Get that shot in. Go to the gym day in and day out. Work on my craft. Get big. No one. These stuff are obviously not encouraged as much, and they're not as easy. Because gym, the memberships, you gotta pay for that. Basketball courts are not easy to access. Who's gonna play in the winter? Cricket, you can talk about. People want to be. If a guy wants to be a fighter or a mixed martial artist, these stuff are not easy. But these stuff are easy. We gotta question that. The morality.
I think mainly why kids do it, like, not to get high or drunk, like they want to be popular, to gain popularity or clout, as you call it. Like they want to put it on Snapchat, Instagram story, like they're doing this. Look what I'm doing, yo, I'm the best, and all that. Like,
Very true.
they're at the top. Like, they want kids to come to
You
it.
gotta educate.
I'm so cool. I'm smoking at school property. Oh, look at me. Everyone enjoy and like join me. Into
solve this
activity.
Yo, guys, to solve this, we gotta educate
flexing
our
their money on
youth.
Snapchat.
We gotta educate these
Exactly.
people. We gotta put out the knowledge, right? Our videos on YouTube, people like going to scholars or educated people or even counselors sometimes to like telling people, hey man, I'm suffering from this and I want to solve this issue, right? See the thing as an issue, the addiction as an issue, right?
No, perfect point.
Yeah.
And plus also everything we mentioned so far is that when we judge ourselves and when we look at things, we look at society, right? How society judges that thing, because society is the standard. And if something's normalized, then we're like, okay, it's fine. I mean, I'm not committing some great sin or some great crime if everyone's doing it. And that's what modern day society is progressing towards too, right? Everything which is supposedly haram or which we're not allowed to partake in is being shown as fine. You can talk about drugs, you can talk about drinking, about anything which is forbidden. Everything is being normalized. Oh, it's not a big deal, everyone does it. So same thing again. And on what you said about how we can solve this, also one other thing is we can have mentors. And kids should look up to people in their own community, older Muslims or older people who are successful in their lives, who have basically gone through these same trials and who've navigated through these trials, and they're successful, and these kids can look up to them and be like, hey, okay,
exactly.
they can do
That's
it.
a great point, bro.
They can
That's
do it.
let me add something to that, man.
Yeah, sure.
You know how you said like people should have mentors? Us as Muslims, we're all Muslim brothers here. So us as Muslims, we have our own mentor that lived back really long ago, right? So Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his character, his conduct, we have that as an example to follow, right? So that prevents us from going astray in the wrong direction.
And like also looking up, these kids, they don't come from, like you said also earlier, that they don't come from a proper family structure. The dad's probably not there, or he's working all the time. Mom is probably working as well. So who's raising them? Internet. Who's raising them?
Society.
Mm-hmm. You see, the Weeknd is his teacher. Lil Uzi is his, I don't know, counselor, whatever the hell it is. But this is what's this is the fact.
Sad reality.
And they say you are. My teacher used to tell me this in English class. You are what you listen to. And back in the day, obviously, I had my ignorance days, but like she used to tell me, like the way what you listen to, you'll eventually become that. And it's very true. It's not only music. It's like when they're listening to the messages inside the tracks. Yeah, man, it's just like that,
And another thing to add is like even like let's take a look now at the governmental point of view from this drugs and alcohol legalization of weed. So before, right, I remember when I used to be in high school, kids who got caught with weed in their locker used to get expelled or suspended from school, right?
Done.
It was done. Now, you know, kids who have weed in their lockers, it's fine. You know, like it doesn't even make sense. You know, people who used to have, you know, weed, or like they used to sell weed on the street, you used to lock them up, right? Now they're taking them out of jail. Why? Because it's not a crime anymore. So it doesn't make sense. It's either right or it's wrong, and you can't just change something. You know, like you guys were talking about society. Yeah, society changes sometimes, but you can't change like a law. You know,
You can't.
either right or wrong. Like there's fundamentals, right? And then there's maybe the trends in society, but then the fundamentals can't be, you know, flipping people out of jail. You know, so this is, you know, it's strange. It doesn't even fit, you know, in my
So
mind.
combining
like
what
Sunny-
you guys were saying, right? Combining everything together, right? What we would need to work on, like for the youth, for the children, because that is something that we really want to hit, right?
Yeah.
We don't want them to grow up wasting their life. We don't want them to grow up making decisions that they would regret, right? We want them to have an understanding of self-control, self-awareness, and we can do a lot of things to bring that to society. We can establish strategies and programs and use mentors and counselors and successful and positive people in society for that. And I think that's something that we should start working on, because how many people are doing it? Maybe a lot of people care, but nobody's putting in the effort to do this. Maybe we need to start as a community, get all the help that we need, the right help that we need to bring this together,
Exactly.
to get that help, because there are so many kids and children that are lost. They don't have this, so we need the help. That's what we need to do. So establish a system or something that can incorporate help for the youngsters.
And it's not like, okay, you know, that certain community sect, this certain community sect. No, we're all living here together, you know. Bleed red, that's it. You know, human, you breathe, that's it. You just look at that, that's it.
It's the ideology that we feel that something is not right.
So on that final point, on let's say there's a kid, a teenager who stumbles across this video. He's
Say, "I love you."
He's stuck. He's doing drugs. He's drinking. He's committing all sort of bad things. What do you tell?
First of all, I'll tell
what do you
them,
tell?
first of all, can I just cut you off? Sorry. I was telling them, first of all, subscribe to We All Bless. I'm joking.
What Saad needs to say is,
Drop a like.
what Saad needs to say is this.
Share the video.
First, you have to identify your problem as a problem.
Yeah.
That's when you can solve it. First, you gotta see it as an issue. Not like, oh man, you know, it's just
It's a dead end, basically.
Yeah,
A dead
exactly.
end, right?
Realize that this is an issue, and then start finding help. And what kind of help that can they find, Saad?
You know, they can only find help in seeking knowledge, you know, learning about these stuff. Not only learning about, obviously, the knowledge that we know and we obviously encourage, but the knowledge about seeking, like learning more about this, you know, drinking. What's the cause, you know? What is it to your brain? Knowing this, you know, and when you learn some stuff like this, you know,
No, that's a perfect point.
and then you're like, man, I'm not gonna go need that because my body too, health-wise, is not good. You know, doctors forbid that. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Zayn, you were saying something.
Yeah, just final point, like in terms of knowledge, I had a psychology class this semester, and in that class we were talking about effects of drugs, and they touched on marijuana, right? And they say that if you basically before the age of 25, if you do it, it basically affects your brain structure and potentially
definitely,
damage.
definitely.
So if you find out information as such, then why would anyone in their right mind even start going or walking down this path, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like a permanent effect, right? Like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
a change,
yeah, exactly. So why would you want to do something which harms you overall? Right?
Exactly. Shanur, anything to piggyback on, carry on?
I think kids mostly do it because like, you know, they don't know what to do in life. Like they're confused, they're stressed. Like that's why they do it. But like I think like they, like what he said, like gain more knowledge. You know.
Great point. Great
Like,
point. Find your purpose.
Like, yeah, find your
Find your
purpose.
purpose, and on
you know,
that note-
why are you here?
And be like Little Uzi. My purpose is to be like him. You know. No. Be something straight, real.
Yeah, you know, maybe go to a mosque, a church, any place where you can like find God or anything, man. Like find a purpose.
But what does it mean to be
Yeah.
Muslim? As Muslims, we have our purpose of being submitting to the will of God, right? That's what the Muslim means.
Yeah.
Means. So for us, I'm pretty sure that submission to the will of God is preventing us to, from doing all this stuff, right? So that's where we find our purpose.
Yeah. Be
No?
mindful.
Yeah. Get knowledge. Find your purpose in life. Don't just go around, walking around, and be like, and end up on the streets as an alcoholic.
Either you die
Yeah.
or you're arrested. That's it.
You know, going back to that, even in the book, even in the Quran, it suggests, you know, that what you want for yourself, you want for your brother. So if I want success, If I want a peace of mind, right? If I want a good place, a good car, you want that for your brother. So meaning you want that for the next individual. So now how can we start off? Now what can we do to bring this together? The entire society, everyone together. That is what we should work towards.
Yeah, for sure. Inshallah, guys. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video, man. MashaAllah. Thank you so much for brother Sunny and brother Nawfil, brother Zayn, MashaAllah, and the brother Muhammad Baghat, and obviously our brother Shanur for joining the panel.
And brother Sad.
I'm sorry for one thing. I want to apologize because usually when we do these type of videos, I make sure it's really professional, as Zayn knows. But today, you know, my camera, both of the batteries died, so I'm very sorry for not that.
So they're missing an angle on me, so.
And two angles actually. Yeah. But inshallah, we will make it very good.
It doesn't matter.
So inshallah, guys, we have a lot of projects and a lot of we talked about to Brother Sunny. We have a lot of future projects that we're gonna work on. Inshallah, Brother Sunny is gonna be helping us. Providing that that big brother help. That big brother shoulder. Brother Zayn is gonna be there. Just to correct my mistakes if he's if I get in a lane to pull my ear. Inshallah, Brother Mufa's gonna be there. Being our body
Comic relief.
yeah, and Brother Baghat will be there, mashallah, spreading the word and showing the diversity for group. And mashallah, Brother Shinur will be there.
Shanur's always there, bro. He's the main guy.
Okay, so guys, remember,
They'll always be there.
inshallah, check out the other videos, like, share, subscribe, you plan, I plan, and we all blessed.